All righty. Well, welcome to our Voices of Inclusion speaker series. And since it's Best Buddies Month, we are very excited to do something a little different than we've done in the past. Today, we welcome two of our amazing ambassadors from PA. So I will say your name, but I'd love for each of you to share a little bit more than just your name about what involvement you currently have or have had in Best Buddies. And then we'll kind of get into a couple of questions that I have for you, but we'll also create some opportunities for everyone to interact and have any questions they want to share too. So first, I'd love to introduce my friend Nicolette Finello. Nicolette, can you tell us about how you've been involved in Best Buddies?
Yes. So I have been involved with Best Buddies in the past. I was in high school. I think at Valley High School for 2 years. In high school, I had to do a senior project, and I did my senior project on the Spread the Word to End the Word campaign. I directed my own video. I did a photo contest. I sold 300 t-shirts and raised $19,000 for their chapter. If you want to watch the video, the link is vimeo.com/12120932. I also was in college at Slippery Rock University. I did Best Buddies there for 4 years, and I also had multiple leadership roles. Like I was an officer, buddy director, ambassador for Slippery Rock. I was a friendship walk captain and advocacy leader.
Wow, that is a mouthful. And I mean, you're practically the president of Western Pennsylvania at this point. So thank you for sharing all that great experience that you have. And we're going to definitely dig in and ask some questions to learn a little bit more about all those accomplishments. But first, let's introduce our second ambassador that we're featuring here today, Celine Heffron Perot. Would you tell us a little bit about how you became involved in Best Buddies?
Yes. Well, I am I'm not around here. I am I'm originally from Florida, and I moved here, and then I found out about Best Buddies, and it's a wonderful organization, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I'm from the Ursinus chapter, and I'm loving being a part of that chapter. And I am a state ambassador, and I love being a part of it. And I am, let me see here. I am, I've taken part in the Taste Bud events, and I've raised lots of money for Best Buddies, and let me see, and I've taken part in the Friendship Walk, and what else? Oh yeah, on my own, I've taken the time, walked around Phoenixville, and asked people to sponsor Best Buddies, and if they didn't know about Best Buddies, I've taken the time to explain what Best Buddies is to them. And so yeah, and they seem really enthusiastic about that. And so then they've been interested in like sponsoring Best Buddies. So that's what an ambassador does. They ask people to sponsor best buddies. So yeah, I enjoy being an ambassador.
Well, that is awesome. Thanks for all that you have done, Celine, as an ambassador, as a participant. So as you can see, everybody, both of these ladies are really passionate about Best Buddies. And the reason I thought of both of you for this opportunity is because I just know that every chance you get, you're always reaching out to our staff to see what more you can do, how more you can get involved and tell other people about what we do. So I think that's a really great definition of an ambassador, but I'm curious what made both of you kind of decide that you didn't want to just be a participant in our programs, you wanted to be a representative, which is kind of what an ambassador does. So Nikki, how did you decide that you wanted to step up and be an ambassador?
Yeah. So I wanted to become an ambassador because one of my passions and dreams are public speaking. To advocate for myself and for others, I would like to someday travel around the world to actually public speak to others about Best Buddies. I wanted to use my courage, my dedication, and confidence in my capability to help myself to reach my potential and pursue my dreams. But also, lastly, I also wanted to educate myself, but also learn how to be an ambassador and the best representation towards Best Buddies, because I also wanted to educate other people as well.
I love that. That is such a wonderful way to put it all. I think you are really, I've seen you grow over the last couple of years that I've known you, really embracing this role that you play and always looking for new opportunities to learn and to have new experiences. So you're a great ambassador, Nikki. And how about you, Celine? What made you decide that you wanted to get involved in the ambassador program?
Well, because like myself, I wanted to speak because I was really nervous about speaking, and I wanted to overcome that fear about speaking, and Best Buddies has overcome that fear of mine, and I wanted to help like other people, and because like Nikki, I wanted to like travel and help other people, because it doesn't really matter what disability you have, because like you and me, we all are capable, and it doesn't really matter what disability you have because we're all people.
That's so true. And I love that you brought up overcoming your fear, because not everybody feels comfortable speaking out and using their voice. And that's really what our ambassador program is about, is making everyone feel empowered to speak up, right, for the things they believe in, to advocate for themselves and for others. And you made some really great points there, Celine. One of the things that you both have done, speaking of traveling, back in the day when we could, and hopefully in the future when we can again, is you both attended our leadership conference in Indiana. Do you have a favorite experience that you had there, or a memory that you can share with everyone about that? Celine, you can go first for this one.
My favorite memory at the leadership conference was it was like meeting all the different, it was like the opening ceremonies, and like just being in the whole like room with everyone, because that's like the highlight, because you don't really get to experience that, because it's just like a whole like turnaround, because it's like meeting different people from all over the world, because you don't get that experience really just to meet different people like Kelly, Kelly from that global ambassador. You don't get to ever meet her, and you get to meet different celebrities that you don't ever get to meet, like from Born This Way, and it's like a great experience for those of you who don't ever get to experience the leadership conference. We got to meet some pretty phenomenal celebrities, I must say, because I was like, whoa, like the Glee people showed up and I was like, who are these people? Like, whoa. And then I'm like, whoa. And then Rebecca Black, my goodness. Wowee.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool opportunities at conference, but I agree. Opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies are two of my favorite parts of it because, like you said, yeah, and we always get a nice shirt for PA. That's our PA shirt from a few years ago. But like you said, there's something magical about being in a room together with a bunch of people who believe in the same things you believe in terms of wanting to make the world a more inclusive place for people with disabilities, and to know that there's students from across the world there, and that they're just as passionate as you are, and they're doing really great things in their communities. And the Leadership Conference is always a chance to get together, share ideas, and kind of motivate each other to keep on going with that mission.
Yeah.
So how about you, Nikki? Do you have any favorite LC memories?
Yeah, I would say so. My favorite is actually going there, just having that whole experience overall, but also like being there and learning. Like for me, it's a learning aspect, and I would like to it's just like a great way for me to expand my knowledge.
I was muted, but I said I love that. That's great. Yeah, I think there's a few people on the call here that have been a part of LC. I think I'll put it back on gallery view. Ryan, I know you are also an ambassador and you have participated in LC before. I think you mentioned that you got some backstage access. Is that right? Can you share your favorite memory of LC over the years?
Yes. Hi. Yes, my name is Ryan Hoffman. My favorite memories back in LC was back in 2019, where I was able to get backstage with YLC, and we actually performed it for the opening and closing ceremonies at LC at Indiana University, and it was a very great experience.
That's awesome. And Ryan, you brought up YLC. I know you're a part of that group. Can you tell us a little bit of what that is? That's another great leadership opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, YLC is Young Leaders Counselor. It's a group that brings everyone together on creating initiative ideas and bridging the gap on those ideas for best buddies to become a reality for best buddies. With the initiatives that we've been doing for each pillar, like leadership development, job employment, living inclusion, and also we've been doing another virtual interviews called YLC Chats, where we interview to different types of people on to share their stories on how they become involvement with best buddies and how they're advocates to people with intellectual disabilities, and we like interviewed it with ambassadors, staff, and and people, even people outside of Best Buddies, and it's been a great experience for me to be on the YLC, and this year it's going to be my last year on the YLC since my 2-year term. It's going to be up, but it was a very great experience for me to be on the YLC, because you learn a lot, and me as a ambassador, a state ambassador in the state of Florida, it teaches me a lot of things, and it could teach a lot of things too, for everyone in and outside of Best Buddies.
I love that. And YLC stands for Young Leaders Council, right?
Yes.
So that's another opportunity that brings people together from all different states. And like Ryan said, there's a lot of great things that they're doing to kind of keep things going, even virtually. So I know we talked about LC back in the day when it was in person. The last LC we held was virtual, and this one will be virtual as well. It's different, but the cool thing about that is that we've been able to really connect to more people and get more people involved. So that is something that I think we're all learning this past year, that we can really have more opportunities to share our mission with people from all over the world. And you guys talked about wanting to travel, right? You and Nicolette, Celine both wanted to travel and tell the story of Best Buddies and tell your story. Well, one cool thing, a silver lining sort of what we're experiencing these past few months, is that this video could end up all over the world. If we post that on our social media, we use the platforms that we have, you can amplify the Best Buddies mission as far as you want, right? So your voices can be really powerful. And I think one of the things with the ambassador program we try to really help everyone recognize is that we all have the power to make a positive impact. So curious about why both of you feel that people with disabilities should use their own voice to speak up for themselves and advocate. Nicolette, do you want to start with that question?
Sure, absolutely. I think it is important because each individual needs to have a chance to tell their story, but also advocate for themselves, because we are loyal, we are friendly, but also we are valuable as well, and we want other people to respect us and treat us the same way. Our stories can give other people knowledge about who we are, and it can also spread the awareness across Western PA, but also internationally across states.
Yeah, I mean, don't leave out Eastern PA. You're spreading awareness
Right.
there too. I know you've been, that's the other thing we should mention too, being virtual here in Pennsylvania, at least, we have worked together across the state so well this year. And we're getting a chance just to get to know each other a little bit better, even though it would take me about 4.5 hours to drive to you, Nicolette, but I feel like I'm right here in the room with you, right? So we can really connect to people. Sure, I miss hugging people. I miss high-fiving and fist bumping, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. But it's nice to know that we can still stay connected and that your message can still get through to people. So how about you, Celine? Why do you think it's important for someone with a disability to speak for themselves and advocate?
Well, the reason why is because right now, because if they don't, well, because it's important, because so many schools don't really know what it's like, and if they so many schools don't really know, and like a person with a disability, let's say, well, they don't really know, and it's important for them to, like, let's say it's important for them to know somebody with a disability. It's important for them to know and for people to be educated enough, so to speak, and to be educated, because in today's society, so many people with a disability are like put down, and we don't really want that. And so it's really, really important that schools are educating their like students, and that, and not putting them down and isolating them, and
Yeah.
being respectful to them, because we don't want to be like bullying them,
Right.
and isolating them. And
Right. Celine, you're bringing up some really good points. And those are some of the hard things that, in order for us to advocate well, we have to acknowledge some of the challenges and barriers that are in place for people. You know, there's a reason why we're all here doing this, because Best Buddies exists because there's a problem, right? The problem is exclusion. The problem is sometimes bullying. Right now, the problem is really isolation. Those are things that a lot of people are experiencing. And the more that we empower you to stand up and speak up for yourself, the more people can understand better. And I think for a lot of times, if people know better, they can do better. They might not realize that by not including you, that's hurting you. They might not realize that maybe there's some kind of accessibility barrier in place that makes it harder for you to participate in something they're doing. But if they remove that barrier, you would love to be a part of those things. So I think I agree 100% with what both of you have shared, but I would also say you guys are different from each other. And what Nicolette has experienced, Celine has not experienced. What Celine has experienced, Nicolette has not. We're all different, but we also have so much in common. So I can't share a story that fully encapsulates what Celine's life has been like. And it's so important for Celine to talk about what she's been through. And that really helps us understand the full scope, because you can't clump people together and say everyone with a disability is the same. They all have the same feelings and issues about things. Everyone is different and has their own life experience and perspective to share. So I love when we have ambassador trainings, I get to hear your stories that I never knew, you know, things that you might have experienced when you were young, things you're experiencing now. And the good stuff is always great to hear in those ambassador speeches. One of the things that I think we always hear in our speeches is the difference that a friend has made in your life. So I'm wondering if each of you can kind of share what that has been like for you to go from not being involved in Best Buddies to then being involved and making those connections and friendships, and what they have meant for your life. Selena, who wants to go first? I see.
Does not.
Or not. Nicolette, you have something to share about that?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, it's like it's a bit different because of before I started Best Buddies, I did not know what Best Buddies was. I had no idea what Best Buddies was. But when I got into Best Buddies and got more in depth with it, I realized that I've made a lot of connections with myself, but also with friends. I, like, as an example, I'm gonna call this out. Being friends with Samantha Milner. I love being friends with her because it's just always fun. I can trust her. Just a very dedicated individual that I can have that as well.
I'm going to put Sam Mildner on the spot and see if she can share sort of the opposite side of that coin. What has the friendship that you have with Nicolette meant for you, Sam?
Oh, it's meant everything. Nikki and I have known each other for 5, almost 6 years now. We just got officially matched in Citizens together, but we've known each other for years, and it's just been so great getting to know her on this personal level. We've done so many fun things together, and I always know that I have Nikki there to support me, and we do so many great things together. We just went out to dinner 2 weeks ago, and we went to the pumpkin patch and in the fall, and we got together and exchanged Christmas presents at Christmas time, and it's just so nice to have somebody that you can always count on, and it goes both ways in the friendship, which I think is what makes it so special.
That's a great point. And I feel like it's not something we really talk about that much, but the impact of the mission of friendship with Best Buddies is often looked at as helping our buddies with disabilities make connections. But there's another side to that friendship. It's our peer buddies without disabilities that get so much out of the situation too. They have a better understanding. Their eyes are open to a whole new perspective and a new world. Each friendship we make, I think we all learn from that person that we're friends with. So thanks for sharing a little bit about your friendship, guys. I appreciate it. Celine, would you like to share? I know you've made some amazing friendships. Can you tell us about some of the friendships that you've established at your Sinus?
Yes, I can. Okay, well, before I got involved at the Ursinus chapter, I was like, okay, I was a little bit nervous because I wasn't so sure I was gonna like it there, because back in Florida, I didn't really have a good time in Florida. But then when I came to Ursinus chapter, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like going to be a good time, because one of my best buddies, Julia, we hit it off. Because she really liked soccer just like me, and then she really introduced me to some of her really good friends, and they really made me feel like I was part of their team. And then for my 25th birthday party, they came to my really cool birthday party, and they gave me their soccer jersey with Julia's number on it, and that really made me feel special and part of their team, and that made me like really feel special. And so Julia has really made me like special. And so like, even though she's really busy in school, she still finds the time to spend time with me, and I thank her for that. So
I love that. I know you're like the honorary soccer team member there, I think, right?
They call me their #1 fan.
I love that. I love that. And you said Julia makes you special, but I think you have made her feel special in your friendship too. And I think every person that you meet, when you share this information about this program you're a part of and the mission of inclusion, you are sort of planting a seed in them that hopefully as these students graduate, they will maybe be in a position to employ people with disabilities because of the inspiration that you gave them. So we'll never be able to measure the impact that you really can make when you start sharing your story. So now I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. Obviously, these ladies are very accomplished. They've had a variety of different experiences. And they actually haven't fully told you all of those experiences. I have to give a shout out to Nicolette, because she serves on our advisory board in Pittsburgh, which is an awesome leadership opportunity. And she really advocates for herself. I was in the meeting the other day and she said, tell me what else I can do. I want to help more. So definitely always look for new opportunities, ask what else you can do, and those opportunities should become available to you. But Celine has spoken at our friendship walk in front of 1,000 people when we had it at the King of Prussia Mall. She did such a great job, and she's been a champion for us. And so both of you are just knocking our socks off. So I think you're in a good position to maybe share some advice to everyone else on the call or those who are going to watch this recording. How do you think other people who maybe don't know much about Best Buddies or feel like they don't really have much to say, how can they be more inclusive or be more of an advocate in their own lives? What are some suggestions you have for that? Celine, do you want to go first on that one?
Sure. Well, you guys could be more inclusive, like in your schools or in your programs. And yeah.
So I guess it's sort of, let's be more specific so we can help you come up with an answer, give them an actual like marching order, right? Like, let's say you are a teacher at a school. What could you do if you feel like the students with disabilities are sort of isolated? What do you think is a good way for a teacher to kind of take steps in the inclusive direction?
Oh, you guys could include them more.
Right. Maybe by having some inclusive activities, or they could start a chapter if they don't have one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys could start a chapter in your program.
Mm-hmm. And how about if you are someone that works for a company, a local business? What do you think? Is there things that local business people can do to help inclusion?
Yeah, you could go on the web. You guys could go on the website, and you guys could go on the website and go and. You guys could go on the website and find out more about Best Buddies.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Best Buddies, certainly, but even just being inclusive, like think about ways we can, it's not just about selling Best Buddies mission. It's about thinking about whether you could potentially hire somebody with a disability, make an opportunity maybe where one doesn't currently exist, or think about ways that you can make your business, if it's like a store or something like that, more accessible for people. So how about you, Nicolette? Do you have any suggestions there?
Yes, absolutely. So my advice I would give are you can be more inclusive to others, like me, by getting involved with Best Buddies. You can be a buddy in the Citizens program, but you can invite others like me in different activities in your community. You can raise awareness by getting connected with Best Buddies on social media, and you can promote our organization to your family and friends.
Well, that's a laundry list of good ideas right there. Thanks. Thanks for getting my wheels turning. Because as you were saying that, I think Ryan also mentioned in the chat doing like a virtual lunch and learn. So if you're a company that doesn't know much about Best Buddies, but you want to educate all of your employees about it, you could invite one of our amazing ambassadors to come speak or one of our staff to present. So that's a great way. But one of the easiest ways right now, it's Friendship Walk season. So folks, usually we get a lot of new folks involved during Friendship Walk because this is a great way to see our mission. So that's another one. But Nicolette, social media is huge, right? Because that's an easy way. All you have to do is click a button and you're sharing information, and all the people you're connected to on your social media see that information too. So if you are, whether you're an ambassador or not, we can all take some steps to kind of raise awareness and make people aware of what, what they can do. So I'd like to open it up to the crowd here. If anyone has other ideas, you can drop them in the chat, or we can help you unmute to share.
Yeah, a couple, Millie.
Okay,
Max
go ahead.
was really asking if she could go first, if that's okay.
Oh, I can't see. Let me gallery view for everybody. Can
You might have
everyone
to
see the gallery?
you might have to unspotlight everyone. Want me to help you?
Remove all. There we go.
Yeah,
There we go. Who wanted to share?
Lex.
Okay, go ahead, Lexi.
So as soon as I saw that you guys are for interviewing my good friends, Celine, I thought that she even know about this.
You didn't know if Celine knew about Best Buddies?
Well, I didn't know if she knew that she was gonna be for Easter today.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna put anybody on the spot. I gave her a heads up. Yeah, Celine and I connected, but I'm sorry I made you worry about that. Yeah, so I think
Well,
you've been really lucky. You've participated in a couple ambassador trainings too, right, Lex, in the past, and you were part of
and-
Peace Buds when we did it.
The funny thing
Yes,
is my girl Lex.
so I met my friend Celine through skiing for Special Olympics, and ever since we met, we became really good friends. We text sometimes, and sometimes we FaceTime.
I love that. Yeah, that's another great point. You know, Celine's a really accomplished Special Olympics athlete. I know you are too, Lex. I know there's probably a bunch of people on the call that are. And Special Olympics, you know, is our sister organization with Best Buddies, and we're both trying to accomplish the same thing on the playing field and in your life at home and at school and at work. We want everyone to have the same opportunities to achieve and to live to their fullest potential and to make friends. So I love when there's a connection like that happens. And so if you guys are involved in sports teams through Special Olympics, one way you could advocate for Best Buddies mission is inviting your Special Olympics athletes to participate in Best Buddies, or seeing if they attend a school that has a chapter or doesn't have a chapter yet but might want to have a chapter. So there's a lot of different things that you can do if you just kind of give it some thought and look at the opportunities that you have right in front of you and the people that you are already connected to. Does anyone else have some suggestions of how we can all sort of take some steps to be inclusive? I see my friend Lisa with her hand up. Let me ask Lisa to unmute. Fingers crossed. You got it, Lisa?
Do you see the unmute button, friend? On the
Yeah,
bottom?
there we
you
go.
There I am.
There you are.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lisa Holt. I have an idea for Best Buddies to have chapters for people in group homes and at the day programs. Like I used to go to a day program, but I don't do that anymore. But have a chapter for the day program, and have a chapter for people in group homes like Deborah, DEC, Altec.
She's giving us a contact list, Andrew.
Yeah,
I love it,
love
Lisa.
there's a whole bunch of them.
Yes. And sometimes people that live in a group home setting don't always have those opportunities to interact with folks that don't have disabilities and to really be a part of their
We're
community.
trying.
So, Andrew, do you want to talk a little bit about how group homes can get involved in Best Buddies in case somebody that works at a group home might see this recording one day?
Yeah, sure, Millie. I mean, Lisa, I love that you mentioned this, and
Yep.
her and I have had conversations about this. So it's great that you mentioned it, Lisa. I would say for group homes, it's a really great way to get involved in citizens, actually. So for a group homes, especially because it's kind of a captive audience of people with, preferably with disabilities. So we could partner you with like one of our corporate chapters, or you could even get involved with one of our college chapters. There's so many ways, especially because being virtual right now, I mean, location's even easier to meet than ever. So Lisa, you and I can connect about the ones you listed, but if anybody ever knows one, you can reach out to our staff and we'd love to make an introduction. Millie, actually, to give yourself some credit, Millie tried to make a connection with a group home this past year, but unfortunately, COVID has made it hard for a lot of the group homes to be able to establish these connections until they get everything back at least to some semblance of normalcy. But, I think there's lots of opportunities, and Citizens, as it keeps coming up, is a great way to get involved. Our program for individuals who are 18 years and older to be matched in a one-to-one friendship. And there are a couple people here who are also matched. So I'm really glad to see such great support today.
Love it. Yeah. Anybody who doesn't currently have a match in one of our programs, whether it's a college chapter or our high school chapter or the Citizens program, you can definitely reach out to us. You can send an email to pennsylvania@bestbuddies.org. That goes to me, and I'll make sure it gets to the right person. Celine, do you have your hand up?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were just patting your head.
No. What if somebody is interested in? Because I have a friend of mine, because she's interested in joining like Best Buddies. She's interested in joining Best Buddies, but like she doesn't know like how to like get started, like because she lives like in like Coatesville area, I believe, but like I don't know like where that would like.
Yeah, so I mean, we really try to create opportunities for everyone who wants them, right?
Yeah.
So have her reach out to us, and we can definitely find the right fit. Everybody's different. Some people might just kind of want to dip their toe in, and they're not sure how much of a commitment they can make. So maybe something like eBuddies, where you get matched in an email friendship, is the right first step for them. But if someone's really feeling isolated and they want to make connections, we've got the school programs and the Citizens programs that can make that happen. And then once you're involved, and hopefully you'll like your involvement and you want to help it grow, opportunities like ambassadors trainings are always something that we're looking to get new people involved. And ambassadors is for people with and without disabilities, because when you're a part of Best Buddies, everyone is sort of representing that mission in their community. So we definitely want to keep that door open to anyone who's interested in helping further that mission. Did Taylor, you had your hand up earlier. Was there something you wanted to share?
Yeah, I would like to say that we can get big companies like Nintendo and Disney to help with us. It's going to be a long stretch, but I think we can do it.
I love that. I love your ambition and optimism about that relationship. Yeah, I mean, look, people with disabilities are connected to all of us. You'll be hard pressed to find anyone who does not have a personal connection to someone with a disability. Maybe it's an invisible disability that you can't see by looking at someone, but there's so many different, ways that disabilities present themselves for people. So we always have to be mindful that we're all better off when everyone's included. Celine, I see that hand up again. Go ahead.
Finish line. You can ask Finish Line because speaking of what Taylor said about that, I remember when we went to we had a Special Olympics event, and they sponsored something like that, and they were like really open to like they were really open to the idea of like that they're like anything, and so so they would be open to like doing something like that.
Great. I mean, I think we all are customers of certain businesses. We all attend certain religious places of worship. So there's communities and people that we can share this part of our lives with that probably would really enjoy being a part of our program. So I'm going to go ahead and spotlight our guest again so that we can wrap up, and any other additional questions that you might have for Celine and for Nicolette. Before we get too close to the end here, I want to make sure that if you heard anything they mentioned today and you want to ask them a follow-up question about it, that you have an opportunity to do that. So if Andrew and Sam can help me just make sure I'm not missing anybody who has a question. Oh, somebody spotlighted me too. How dare you? But I will say I was really inspired by everything you shared today, and I really appreciate your openness to talking about your journey. And I know there's many more good opportunities ahead for both of you, and you're really leaders in our Pennsylvania world, but also hopefully people outside of PA will get to see what you have to say and be inspired by your words too. So any last words that you guys want to end on, any advice or motivation, or as we head into a weekend, any final thoughts?
My advice is just be yourself, and it doesn't matter what disability you have, because like I said, we are just people. So just trying to live our life, and just take one day at a time, and just be free. That's my advice.
I like it. That's a good way to head into the weekend. I like those words. Thanks, Celine. How about you, Nicolette?
Yes, for sure. I just want to say that with everything that I said and everything I've done, I just want to say I am so blessed to be in an organization with Best Buddies to help me pursue who I am today. And again, I'm going to make 3 shout outs. One to Millie from Philly.
She's already crying.
Willie has done so much for us and for Best Buddies and for myself. Also, thank you so much, Andrew, for finding that connection with me and Smia Milner. It's just been a blessing to be into this things and do that now.
You did that, girl. That's all you.
And lastly, Sam, thank you so much for everything that you have done. You have been a blessing to myself, and you're so dedicated in your work that I want to be the same.
Nikki, you're gonna make me cry.
Okay.
Love you, girl.
Thank you. It's always so nice to hear those kinds of appreciation things, and we're the ones who are very lucky and fortunate and blessed and all those words, and grateful for your involvement and for everyone that's tuned in, because so many of you, I'm going to put us back on gallery view, I think, if I can. Is everyone seeing the full gallery? I hope. Okay. Each and every one of you have been impacting Best Buddies in some way. We even have, not to put her on the spot, but we have Celine's mom in the room with us today. So hi, Janice. So great to have parents that support you, to back you up and help you get involved too. So we have to make sure we show our gratitude to all of the people that helped us along the way. But you are all very helpful in our spreading our mission and helping create a more inclusive world for all of us. So Thank you for that. And with that, I think we will wrap things up, and just one big round of applause for our two wonderful speakers. You did a wonderful job today, and hopefully we can see you again in the near future with some new speaking opportunities. And they are available for meetings and events if you need a speaker. So we'll go ahead and say, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another Inclusion Speaker Series.
Thank you.